That's the van right there, I believe. Let's see, let me come out. Right there, that van. Oh man, he's hitting the gas. Northbound 405. Yeah, they're not talking to me. Oh, there we go. Okay, hi there. No, we're going north away from it. That's the pursuit vehicle right there, that white van. One more story and then me. Okay, thank you. Let's try to catch up to him if you can, Chris. We're going to be... Stand by. It's approaching Palms. Approaching Palms. Ready. Well, Chuck, in calling, this pursuit just started about 5 minutes ago. The LAPD Pacific Division went into pursuit of this van. It's a stolen van. Right now it's northbound 405 freeway approaching the 10 freeway at a high rate of speed. The LAPD has an airship overhead and they've just gone into tracking mode. So at this point, we're looking at about 100 miles an hour in that carpool lane. Let me come out to a wide shot and show you the traffic as the driver comes across the lanes there, and he's going to come into some heavier traffic as we approach that 10 freeway. We haven't heard as far as the number of occupants. It might be 2 or 3. We did hear early on that there might be an additional 1 or 2 people inside besides the driver. Now, it looks like he's transitioning here, so we're going to have to keep an eye out on what the driver's going to do here as he comes into the 10 interchange. But we're going to look, it looks like maybe westbound 10, and we're going to make that turn with the vehicle here. I'm going to come out to a wider shot and, eastbound 10. And he's going to go around that red truck. I'm going to come out to a wide shot because he's going into some traffic here, but also there's really no units. They backed off from it. The airship right now is in that tracking mode and is going to have some heavy traffic here on the 10 eastbound. Yeah, that's a good question, Chuck. I think that has a big something to do with it for sure. And he's using that shoulder, but he ran out of the shoulder you see there. So now he's going to be trapped behind traffic here and he's going to try to do whatever he can to get away. Here he goes cutting across into traffic, in and out of traffic, and cutting people off. So a very dangerous situation right now, especially with the heavy traffic here on the eastbound 10. Yeah, I can tell you that it started on surface streets off of Lincoln. It came close to LAX and then got onto the 405 freeway off of Howard Hughes. So it went northbound away from LAX, which was good for us. We would have a lot of trouble following it, but now it's eastbound on 10 freeway. And as I said, a lot of heavy traffic. It looks like it's all the way into downtown at this point. Yeah, let me come in and look at those tires. You can see what you're talking about there a little better here as I come in. You're right. Look at that rear tire. It looks pretty low, so there might be something pretty heavy inside that van. It does look like it has some mileage on it, but we didn't hear any accidents when the pursuit started. It was an LAPD unit that got behind it, a single unit that got behind it, and look at those close calls there. Yeah, so I mean, if there's no damage now, there will be, unfortunately, the way this guy's driving. Hey, sorry about that. He's exiting, Chris. Let's get back to it. Oh, you do. Sorry about that. I was talking to my pilot here. We're trying to get into a better position for you. Look at that. He's going to cut across that that parking lot there and made basically a U-turn. This is going to be Robertson Boulevard off the 10 freeway, and look at how he's just pushing the traffic, being a bully there, driving onto that car in front of him, and now he's going to make that right turn around there onto Robertson, and the airship's trying to negotiate or try to get units in position here to intercept this pursuit here. He's going to go under the freeway and pop back out on the other side. This is a very big interchange here, so it's very easy for that van to get lost under there. We've covered pursuits here before, and we've seen the cars, vehicles bail out under there. That's one of the problems for the LAPD airship. There he comes. That probably is it right there. They had a unit. Definitely the car. They had a unit coming up behind it, and he must have been scared away from that point. But again, here we go on National Boulevard, and he's just desperate to get away here. Yeah, initially that's what we heard. I'm not sure how that unit saw, maybe made a U-turn and saw them driving. Unfortunately, we're a little too far away to see. I'm going to try to poke my head in here with the lens and see if we can see anybody in that front passenger seat. And it looks like no. So, from what we can tell right now, it's just the driver. It sounds like it was a unit that was driving down the street and spotted the vehicle and recognized it as being a stolen vehicle. It's behind us, Chris. And so that's how the pursuit started. It was just that single unit that was in pursuit. There's the LAPD coming through our shot there with their helicopter, and he's going to come right around the building here. We're going to try to get you a location here as he approaches National and Motor, yes. 12 o'clock. Yeah, so far, I mean, it's a lot of close calls already, but luckily he hasn't hit any vehicles or anybody walking on the street for that matter. Huh. 9 o'clock, Chris. Yeah, no, they do have units on the ground behind it. That might be. Let me come in here, Ty. We're going to try to move in closer. It looks like it's the mirror, yeah. Okay, and here's a left turn and into a neighborhood off of a Malcolm, and he's gonna just continue. Here's a person walking down the street with their dog. Dog's there. Close call there. Actually, several people there walking on the street, just minding their own business, and here comes a pursuit their way. Here comes a right turn there, and just weaving in and out of these residential streets. A lot of people out here on the street, so that's a concern. That driver might be looking for a way to jump out and run. Yeah, sure is. So a lot of people out here on foot, on bikes, and running the stop signs. The airship is still trying to get in the units behind it. I'm looking out the window. Right now, there are no units. There were a few units that got into the chase early on there when they exited the 10 freeway, but they pulled off since. So again, the reckless driving is part of that, and the high speeds. Yeah, the airships, the LAPD will fly pretty low on a pursuit like this. They'll fly low, and it's pretty highly Yeah, absolutely. You saw the speeds there. He just really picked it up about 60 miles an hour there, and then makes that turn on that major in front of traffic, right by a mailman. I mean, there's a lot of activity out here on foot, and that's what really has me concerned. Going over those speed bumps like they're not there. Yeah, there's no escaping that eye in the sky for sure, unless he pulls into like a parking lot underground or something like that. But in this case, out on surface streets like this, out in the open, it's really hard to lose that helicopter. Super dangerous, you know, for sure. Here comes a major intersection. He's going to come out to a right turn. This is going to be Venice Boulevard, and he's going to go almost into those cones there, makes that sweeping right turn, and now it might be making a U-turn. Yep, right back at us. Nope, back into the residential. So he likes to get in those residentials and then hit the gas. More people on the street. There's an Amazon truck. I mean, just blowing right by these people. It's very scary. Yeah, for sure. And that might be what's happening here. The driver exiting the 10 freeway in this area, so making his way back towards where this pursuit started eventually. But again, it was in the Venice area that the pursuit started, and one unit behind it called out initially that there might be 2 or 3 people in the car, but so far we haven't seen anybody in that front passenger seat. And again, here comes another major, Washington Place. It's going to pull out right turn. Yes, good point, Colleen. He's coming up to the 405 right now. That's Sepulveda. He just made a right turn, Washington and Sepulveda. So back close to the 405 freeway. The 405 freeway northbound was moving pretty good for this driver when he was on it initially, so he might be thinking about getting back on that 405. We'll see what happens here in the next major turn or two. No, we're not. Actually, very close to where it started. Here's the on-ramp. So he's made his way back to the freeway. He's got a little bit of traffic there. You see there's no units that are directly behind him at this point, but the airship's keeping an eye on him. And you see the traffic there moving pretty fast. So he's going to have a lot of room to run here, at least up till past the 10 freeway up into Westwood, and it starts to slow down. Yeah, northbound 405, approaching that 10 once again, and you see the speeds there. He's kind of calmed down a little bit now that he has some breathing room on the freeway, and you get a better look at the driver here as I come in tight. You'll see he looks like he's picking up a cell phone there, driving with no hands, and possibly trying to call somebody. There you go. Yeah, there's the signal. He's going to get over, and it looks like a cell phone. He's putting it to his ear. So we'll come out to a wider shot and continue with the chase here. Northbound 405 approaching the 10 freeway, and he's on the phone with somebody at this point. But the speeds there, 80, almost 90 miles an hour so far. As I come out to a wider shot, you'll see the traffic ahead of him. They don't, and that's the concern for the LAPD. And you know, I can tell you right now that LAPD is notifying the CHP as it continues here northbound past the 10 freeway, and we're approaching the Westwood area. And looking at traffic up ahead in the Sepulveda Pass, there is heavy traffic. It looks like past sunset, so the driver's going to have some issues coming up. seriously, it looks like those cars are just parked almost. They're just blowing right by them and swerving in and out. And when driving that fast, you come up on a car really quick and you're not used to that, you're going to have problems. You might end up rear-ending them or clipping them as he weaves in and out of traffic. So that's a concern as well. So we're coming up on, it looks like Wilshire Boulevard right now. We're going to be crossing Wilshire, and then in about a mile, he's going to have the Getty on the left-hand side, and that's where traffic starts to back up. So about a mile away, he's going to have some heavy traffic, and we'll see what kind of driving he does then. That's correct. Look at the speeds, and now I can tell you right about where the Getty is where he's going to hit the traffic. You can see it already slowing down, and he's starting to make his moves around that traffic. But look at, he's not really slowing down. He's just hitting the gas. Yes. Let's see if he takes it. He may or may not. We'll see if he does, and he looks like he's committed to the exit here. So it's going to be Sepulveda Boulevard, I believe the exit is. We'll see as he comes around. May not be able to handle that turn there. Hard on the brakes. And here's the off-ramp. He's going to make a right-hand turn. Sorry, this is Sunset Boulevard he's on now. Eastbound Sunset Boulevard from the 405. And he's got some room to run here. Eastbound, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cars coming to the 405 from the west. I'm sorry, from the east. And right now we're just trying to get into a better position so we can follow the car. As you know, Sunset Boulevard kind of has some sweeping turns here and a lot of trees, so we're going to try to stay over the vehicle here as much as we can. About 40 miles an hour right now as it continues eastbound. Yeah, definitely. We're going to try to move over Sunset to give you a better feel for the traffic ahead. We get, as I said, a lot of trees here passing UCLA, and we have to jump up ahead here to follow the van. We're going to work on getting a better position for you. Find it. Well, the night sunlight from the police definitely helped me with that. They put the light on just at the right time, and there he is back out again, still eastbound on Sunset, continuing at a high rate of speed, 60 miles an hour as you see. And as you know, it's a really windy road here, so we'll see what happens as far as traffic and any kind of pedestrians ahead. You know, that's a good question too. I really can't tell. They really haven't said, yeah, that too. It's kind of different because it has those windows all blacked out all the way around. So a little difficult to tell. Look at this, right down that turn pocket and then continuing right through the red lights. So running the red lights, definitely not a concern for any of the other drivers out on the road or pedestrians for that matter. Yeah, and there he goes again with traffic. So right down the center median there, and is going to go back into lanes. Southbound turn. That's going to be a southbound turn, and I'm listening to the LAPD calling out the pursuit. They're trying to get units on the ground in position, but he's gone through the Pacific Division, part of possibly the Wilshire Division, and now up here in the West LA Division. So they're trying to coordinate with the ground units to get in there and get behind the vehicle and try to stop it. Well, you know they're going to want to put out that spike strip as soon as they can, but at this point the driver's not really circling like we normally see sometimes in pursuits where they'll circle the same neighborhood over and over. That's easy for the officers to put down a spike strip, but in this case, really hard to get a spike strip out ahead of this guy because he's just so erratic as far as which direction he's going and which streets he's using. Here he goes into a red light at, I believe this is Wilshire Boulevard. Right turn now back towards UCLA. Yep, back to the freeway. Definitely, and with this kind of speed, and definitely if there's weight involved to that vehicle, we're dodging the buildings here, but we're going to try to get you lined up on Wilshire. So yeah, at these speeds with a lot of traffic, a lot of foot traffic as well, that's going to be a difficult task for the LAPD to try to get that pit maneuver in place. It certainly is. Back towards the 405 westbound on Wilshire here, in some traffic, and it's going to be out my side, Chris, now. He's continuing towards the freeway, so we'll see if he tries to jump back on the freeway and then goes south back towards where this pursuit started. Wrong side of the road now. Southbound turn. Well, about a mile away, but on these surface streets, it's going to keep him away from the freeway for now, unless he goes towards the west. Here's a major intersection here. This is going to be Ohio and setting up for a eastbound turn. So going away from the 405 now. It looks like it's Westwood Boulevard. I'm sorry, I called Ohio and Westwood. So eastbound on Westwood right now. Southbound. Yes, that's correct, Carolyn. Now weaving in and out, staying in these neighborhoods, and that's, again, so dangerous for people that are out and about at this hour, especially walking their dogs, riding their bikes. We've got UPS delivery guys out there doing their job, and here comes this guy, 60 miles an hour through their neighborhood. It's just crazy. Chris. Yeah, sorry about that. No ground units so far, and we're going to have to go towards the pursuit. He's kind of pulling away from us right now, but so far no ground units as you see directly behind it, and that's the problem they're having with the LAPD is trying to get units behind it because he's just at high rates of speed, weaving in and out, and just choosing different streets to go on and not staying on the same one. Here he goes into around the building into an alleyway. We'll see if maybe he tries to bail out here. Oh. Yeah, that's right, Chuck. You see that alleyway turning back towards the major street. There's the airship with the sunlight or the night sun on it, and he's going to continue back down Santa Monica Boulevard. Now it's I'm a little turned around myself with the turns here, but up to Sepulveda and then southbound turn there. Yeah. For the most part, Carolyn, yeah, at first there was one unit of LAPD that was behind the vehicle, tried to pull it over, right away identified it as a stolen vehicle, and it took off on that unit. So that was on Lincoln in the Venice area, and then went directly to the 405 freeway, went northbound, and has been on and off the freeway ever since. Now here at Olympic Boulevard and Sepulveda, making that right turn. Going to be going towards the freeway, so we'll see if he jumps back on the freeway at this point. southbound turn. Now I lost him here because of the building in the way here. Okay. Southbound Sawtell, we're going to look here. There he is. I got him coming at us now. We'll hold here, Chris. And you see him weaving out by the Best Buy. Pretty easy to spot. There's a unit right there at that intersection. That officer was out on foot actually there, trying maybe to put a spike strip out. It was hard to say what he was doing, but he was out of his vehicle, maybe trying to stop traffic there. But they're definitely trying to get those units behind the vehicle to try to either do a pit or maybe a spike strip at some point. I've seen the officers pull that spike strip out of their trunk and unroll it and throw it out in front of the car at the last second. So it's pretty quick. They can snap that thing right out in front of the vehicle and get that those tires punctured pretty quick. Here comes a right turn, and he's going to go under us here. This is going to be national. So he's going to swing under us here and back towards, I believe, the 405 here. Boy, I'm really biting. Yeah, I'm biting my nails every time he turns on these streets. I know there's a lot of people out walking around, and we saw that early on with the people walking their dogs and on bikes. So, very dangerous situation for them, not knowing that this pursuit's coming. Oh yeah, it will have an immediate impact on the vehicle and on the way the driver drives. So that's a very efficient tool for the LAPD to use to try to get this guy at least to slow down and maybe think about pulling over. Yeah, Carolyn, in fact, you know, normally you'd hear the sirens from the police cars behind the pursuit, but in this case you don't. You just have a helicopter overhead, and yeah, the night sunlight does help get people's attention, whether they're driving or walking, you know, to let them know, hey, well, something's going on. It's a police helicopter overhead. Maybe we should be cautious. And I've seen that happen time and time again where the LAPD does a great job with their night sun doing that. Very narrow now, and you see that night sunlight coming on there, lighting up the vehicle. That also tells the driver, hey, we know where you're at. He may think that he's in the clear because he doesn't see any police or that night sun for a while, but then boom, here's the night sunlight lighting him up, and he knows that he's still being watched. Yeah, definitely is able to see us just look out the window and wave hi. We've had that happen so many times in chases that we were signaled by the driver in different ways. But in this case, so far he's kept that window up. And early on in the pursuit, we saw him on the phone with on the freeway. Somewhat. It's very difficult to tell the streets that he's been on here. This is going to be Palms Boulevard. Here he comes into an alleyway. So yeah, he's kind of stayed in the same area for the time being. He is continuing slowly to get creep southbound away from Westwood, and we'll see if he tries to bail out in this alleyway. But so far, you know, he sees that night sunlight come on and go, no, maybe I shouldn't do it here. Yeah, so eastbound on Charnock and Victoria, they're calling out the streets, LAPD is, and back out to right through the stop sign there. You see how dangerous that is. I mean, no one is anticipating someone running a stop sign in front of you, and then all of a sudden they do. Here's the right turn there on that street. This is Mountain View, and he's going to continue in that direction southbound. Yeah, and like Chuck pointed out earlier, you know, the speed with potentially something heavy in the back of the van, it makes it a very dangerous vehicle, even more so. Here's a turn into an alley, a third alleyway. Yeah. My map's telling me Mar Vista. I don't know if how accurate that is, but I believe that is pretty accurate. You're seeing the driver now on Inglewood Boulevard, and then again another alleyway. So this might be it. Let's see. We have a car there. Nope. He's going to go around that car and pop back out once again. So using the alleyways to get to the next street over seems to be the MO on this driver. I think so, Chuck. I think you're right. I think they're lost at this point, and maybe trying to get back to a major street that they might recognize. Uh-oh, look at that, right through that alleyway with that car stop there. It's going to come out again to another street and pop back out again. So that's McLaughlin. Yeah, look at the number of people there walking on the sidewalk. So I'm hearing that they might be trying to establish a point where they can put a spike strip, and that's going to be very helpful to bring this to an end. Yes, and now we're seeing the driver circling. This is the first time he's going to come around out of that alley. He's going to come back to the street he once was on. So this might be the familiar area. It might just be that he's lost. It's hard to say. Here he comes towards us now, and we might see a spike coming up right now. Let's see. McLaughlin southbound and at a higher rate of speed. He's got some room to roll there, and he's going to come up to the major intersection there, and we're coming right towards us on Washington. That looked like an LAPD unit, a couple of them there actually, and now he's hard on the gas because he sees them coming behind him. He saw them there when he made that turn, and so now we're going to make our turn. He's going to come under us here, and sorry for the movement on the camera. He's going to come right directly under us, and I'm trying to wait to see if we have the unit come up behind him right through the intersection there, and he's going to use the shoulder now. No, I mean, it's moderate traffic, I would call it, for this hour. You see, he's actually westbound towards the ocean. We're getting into Venice. In fact, I think we are in Venice now. But here he goes across. There's a couple people there crossing. Yeah, it's so dangerous. They definitely try to keep track of all the violations. A lot of stop signs, a lot of red lights. Yeah, so it's hard to keep track. Maybe they've lost track already, but still, you know, continuing to break those laws on the streets here. Yeah, so we're looking at Del Rey, my map's saying right now, and it's back towards where this started. So he might be going back to familiar territory now and try to dump the van. Yes, Yes, and now that we're hearing Mercedes, that rings a bell. And early on, when they were behind it first, I believe they did call it a Mercedes. So here's the turn on the smaller, narrower streets here. This is Panama Street in the Marina del Rey area, and he's going to head back towards one of the major streets here. We'll see. Oh, he's going to go into this. Wow, like a parkway. He just took a sidewalk there. And he gets him back out onto Culver Boulevard. Unbelievable there. So fortunately, no one was walking. 12 o'clock, Chris. Yeah, I would say just under an hour on this pursuit. We were the first news helicopter on the chase. We were cruising around. We heard it break out. And let's go towards him now, Chris. He's got nowhere to go and might be bailing here. Doors open, there he goes running, and he's going to go into, it looks like the wash there. And yeah. He's on the bikeway running along the wash there. We're going to try to move around and get around to see, but doesn't look like he's running too fast, and they're trying to get units now to get into position to pick him up. There he is, kind of jogging down the bike path. Let's hold right here, Chris. Right, and here he goes. Now he's got a gate there. Yeah, he's a rider there that's looking at him, and now he's made it out of that bike lane. He's got a backpack on. He's going to be going uphill. That's just going to wear him out. And now he's kind of huffing and puffing there as he climbs that hill. But I can tell you that they're directing units to him right now, and we should see. He does. He threw on a backpack there, and he's running out of gas there himself. Yeah, let me see. I'm going to come out wide. We'll keep an eye on him there. And here he is at the 90 Marina Freeway. He's going to cross the freeway. So yeah, very dangerous. Look at the speed of that car going by him. He's got nowhere to go there. He's got that drop off. And so we're going to keep a wide shot here because it's so dangerous. We don't want to show anything graphic for sure, but as he cuts across, look at that. Oh my gosh, so dangerous. And now he's going to try to jump down again into the wash possibly here. There he goes. Yeah, for sure, for him. Now he's out of dangerous way there. He's going to take maybe a break there on that pillar. I'm going to go to our infrared here in a second if it gets too dark, but you see him going back down towards the that bike lane that he came off of initially. And I'm hearing that the LAPD units are coming out of their vehicle to chase him on foot, so we might see the officers here come in here in just a minute. Here he is back, and he goes through the gate there, gets caught up on the fence, and look at this. Yeah, I maybe sized up the guy on the bike and said, no, I'm not going to help you out here. And no. So at this point, he's just kind of talking with him, and we should see some LAPD units on foot here momentarily, officers running to him. Well, it's part of the marina down here. It's one of the waterways that biker is on right now, and here he is off on a little trail. My pilot, I can't see out the side that this is on, but my pilot's telling me that they're about 150 feet from getting this guy. So we should be seeing those officers shortly approach him. I don't think so. I think that light is blinding him somewhat, and he's using that light to navigate his way through this field because, as you see, as I come out wide, you'll see flashlights. It's pretty dark down there, and he might be having a hard time finding his way, plus he's tired. Chris, can we get in closer? We're going to look and try to get in closer. He's moving in towards what might be a little homeless encampment there. He's just walking along that fence, but those officers are being talked to by the airship and directing them into him. No. He's just jumped the fence, it looks like. That looks like it's him. I'm going to go infrared here for a second. And there he is coming out. Chris, it's your side. He's going to climb it. He is. He's not. I did too. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to bring in a little bit of color balance there. And you see the driver now dragging his backpack after climbing that fence. And I think we're going to see the first officers there. The flashlights are getting ever closer. Yes. Exactly. It's very important to him. Now the concern for the officers is, does he have a weapon? We haven't heard that. They're saying they might be armed, but you never know what's in that backpack there. So they got to be cautious. He's out in an open field right now, and those officers are approaching with little cover. Well, yeah, let me come out. Yeah, let me come out wider, and he might have. He might have. Yeah, he's going back towards that. He did. Good, good observation there, Carolyn. He did drop it. He's really exhausted and just trying to make his way. So he did drop that backpack. That was a good call, and they should be getting him in custody here very shortly. Here he is turning back towards the officers. He knows he has really nowhere to go, and they're going to get him here very, very quickly. Yeah, and now he's looking like he's approaching some officers just ahead of him, and I think he's had enough. It looks like he's just going to surrender to those officers at this point. Still trudging along. Let me come out wider and see if there's any officers there. Yeah, I see a flashlight. There we go. You see the officers there with their flashlights. There is, and you know they're talking to him right now, saying, "Hey, come on, you know, give it up. You have nowhere to go. You're surrounded." But he's walking now away from them, so they're going to have to hop that fence. There they go. They're hopping the fence, and they're going to go after him. Here it comes. They're running at him, and they're going to make the arrest right now. And that's it. They take him down. We lose the night sunlight for a second there. We'll come out to a wide shot and try to boost our picture here as the officers finally take him into custody. Wait, hang on now. It looks like I have movement down there. It's very, very dark, and I think it's over. I'm waiting on word on the scanner to hear if they got, and they just said it. He's in custody. They're going to take that night sun away, and they'll, at this point, walk him out of there back to the unit. So a pursuit that started in this area ends back up in this area with a foot chase. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. It is. I just took it off. We're pretty far away. And I got the infrared on too. It's What's that? How's our fuel? Okay. Let's, are we able to get any closer, Chris? This is 12 o'clock. If you want to move forward, it looks, yeah, definitely. Whenever you can get closer. We're done. We can head, yeah, we're clear. Hang on, hang on. Not yet, not yet. Okay, Jack, understood. We'll hang here for a second. Just let me know. Okay. Okay, Jamie, understood. Well, this is the end of the pursuit. The driver in custody, the LAPD trying to get the gate or the fence open here so they can get him in that unit. Pursuit that started in Venice, ends here near Marina del Rey. One driver in custody after about an hour-long pursuit on surface streets and freeways. This is Gil Levis signing off. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Jamie. Thank you. Okay, now we're done.
Oh, no, no, no! suspect running. Oh, this is going to be close.
To watch more heart-stopping car chases happening across Southern California, subscribe here. Thanks for watching. The chase is on.